Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Groons is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Groons.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
We hear questions like these all the time. Can TSR injury law help me if I'm hit by a driver with no insurance? Yes. How about if not enough insurance? Yep. If you've been injured, it's TSR time. Call us today for a free consultation at 612-TSR-TIME.
It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 4. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm super excited about this one we've got this week. We're talking hoops with 2 of my all-time favorite Golden Gophers. And before we get to that conversation with Gopher greats Rachel Banham and Andre Hollins, let me invite you first to listen back to some previous podcasts here. My guests have included so far Ben Johnson, Spencer Tollickson, Mark Coyle, and Corey Provis. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Go Gopher Podcast from wherever you get your podcast. And as you know by now, it's absolutely free for you to subscribe and to listen at any time. That is because our great sponsors, that includes State Farm agent Tony Hoagland at ChamplionInsurance.com. Tony's a big Gopher fan, and we appreciate his support of the podcast. It's Tony Hoagland, ChamplionInsurance.com. I'm also really excited to let you know we'll introduce another sponsor next week who I'm thrilled to have on board. They'll serve as the presenting sponsor of the Go Gopher Podcast starting next week. All the details coming next week. This week, again, 2 of my all-time favorites. It's a podcast that literally has been in my mind for several years, and this week we finally have it. It's done and ready for you to listen. Andre Hollins and Rachel Banham. They're next, but first, a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Gopher fans, this is your State Farm agent, Tony Hoagland. We are super excited to be part of the new Mike Grimm Show on Talk North. For the year of 2022, we will be donating $10 to the University of Minnesota Children's Masonics Hospital for everyone that calls our office or checks in with us online and mentions that they heard about us on Talk North and the Mike Grimm Show. We are really excited again that Mike came on board with Talk North. You can reach us at 763-421-4900. You can find us on the web at ChamplionInsurance.com. Again, 763-421-4900, or find us on the web at ChamplionInsurance.com. Roll the boat, Sky Yuma, Go Gophers.
And welcome back to the podcast. It's my pleasure to welcome to what I'm going to call the first couple of Golden Gopher basketball here. This has been in the works for a long time in regard to me trying to get these 2 together on a podcast. Rachel Banham, former Golden Gopher, the all-time leading scorer in Gopher women's basketball history and a member of the Minnesota Lynx. And Andre Hollins, the 5th all-time leading scorer in men's basketball history. So that's a lot of points scored in the maroon and gold. First of all, Rachel, good to see you, and thanks for coming on.
Good to see you, too. Thanks for having me.
And Andre, good to see you as well. Now, we have this, we're doing this podcast via Zoom. I stuck you 2 guys in different rooms so that we could, we're not going to play like, a newlywed game or anything like that, but just for the sound quality purposes. So, Andre, good to see you as well here on the Zoom.
Good to see you. Thanks for having us.
Well, you guys have some, big news here in the last, few weeks. Andre, you got it going with the final day of the year. You got it in before the end of the year. An engagement to Rachel. So I'm guessing most Gopher fans have seen that video. If not, you can find it on someplace on social media. Go do a search and you'll see it. And it was a pretty cool setup. How long was that in the making? It happened at the barn. And before we kind of take people through kind of how it unfolded, how did the planning go? I mean, you had to have a few people involved with this, it sounds like.
Yeah, the planning actually was really stressful, to say the least. So I didn't know how I wanted to propose in the beginning, but I saw opportunity open itself when I as you know, I have class and I'm getting my MBA, and I had a condensed course on a Saturday that the team was going to play Michigan at Michigan. So I took that as an opportunity to try to be sneaky and trick her into believing that I was going to be with the team, even though I had to stay for class. So I ended up contacting her PR person with the links, and I contacted a few other friends and family and kind of let them know my plans. I got her parents' blessings, I think, back in September, I believe. So I had a whole couple months to plan it, but yeah, I got everyone involved. The stage was set, and the week of the Monday of when I was about to propose, she got a black eye, and then that Thursday, because I was going to propose on that Friday. That Thursday, she ended up getting the booster shot. So she ended up feeling awful. And so we were trying to do our best to try to convince her to come, but she wasn't having it. And, that wouldn't have gone well. Like, she's feeling crappy when I proposed. So we had to table those plans, and I kind of pushed it back to the 31st. So, it ended up working out well, but the planning was stressful, to say the least.
Yeah, and so then, as it turns out, you guys you have this set up at Williams Arena, and you had it set up so that Rachel thought she was going to do an interview with the camera crew about the Final Four. And Rachel, you thought that was on board. You were going to talk about how great the women's basketball landscape is here in Minnesota. So you were totally in the dark, so to speak, on this.
Yeah, I totally was in the dark. I thought it made sense that I was going to do an interview for the Final Four because I'm doing some other appearance stuff for it when it comes to town. So I was like, oh, cool. It's just like they're getting us set up and getting us ready to kind of get excited for the Final Four. So I got to do some stuff for that. There was like some things that I thought was weird. It's like it was our like the Lynx camera crew. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay. Like I thought it was like maybe like an NCAA camera crew. So I was like, that's weird that our team's doing it, but whatever. They're probably just sending them the film. So that part was kind of weird. But yeah, I had no idea. I really thought it was just like a regular interview.
Well, and I did see when people saw the video at first, not knowing the whole backstory, I saw people tweet out like, well, why would she be so dressed up? She had to know ahead of time, but you were dressed up because you were going to be on TV, right?
Yeah, I actually, my PR lady was like, make sure you're not wearing like Lynx and Minnesota gear. Like they actually want you to like look like your regular self. And that happens in interviews sometimes where they actually don't want you just to be in team gear. They want to like see your personality and kind of like what you are like off the court. So it really wasn't weird to me. But I remember that day I was so tired. And I was like, I don't want to put on jeans and be cute and do my hair. And I got ready in like 5 minutes because I had taken a nap before, like a 30-minute nap. And I woke up kind of late and I was like, crap, I got to hurry up and look presentable, you know? So there's a lot going on that day that people really don't know about. And that's why I was so like crazy and hangry and acting wild.
That was the best part of the whole thing, Andre, was that once, so she's at Williams Arena, the camera crew's asking her questions. By the way, the answers were great. I hope they can use them. You were talking great about women's hoops. And then, Andre, you kind of sneak in, ambush her from behind a little bit, so to speak. And at first Rachel's caught a little off guard. You're just trying to be a nice guy here, right? I mean, holy cow. And that was pretty funny. I got a kick out of that. So what are you thinking, Andre, as you're sneaking up and knowing this is a big moment in both of your lives here?
Yeah, at first, like I was kind of joking with her sister and her two best friends, kind of, lighting the mood, making sure I got my head right, didn't get too serious or nervous. But I was actually nervous because it was a long walk to get to her. And my shoes that I were wearing, they're pretty squeaky. And literally the first step I took once I stepped into the court, my shoes squeaked. So I was super nervous that she would hear me. So I had originally planned for them to just have her like doing like a still video shot where she wasn't saying anything, but the videographer he improvised and had her talking. So that helped. So she was kind of involved and had distracted. So I was able to sneak up behind her. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. That might have been the most nervous I've ever been. I think once I started talking, it just, it got me flustered for a bit. But once I touched her, I knew she didn't like surprises, so I wasn't sure how she was going to respond. And she responded on brand. And she responded on brand.
That was the beauty of it. Yeah, that was the beauty of it. So he caught you off guard a little bit. You're a little perturbed, it looked like there right at first. So at what point did you realize, oh, hold it a second, I better back off here just a minute because it looks like this is an important moment here?
Yeah, I mean, Dre knows, like, I don't like to be snuck up on. I watch way too much true crime and stuff. And, I come from, like, a police background. So I was like, hey, and like I said, I was so tired and hangry. Like, I had such a long day. And I was on the last question, these fake questions of my interview. So I'm like, oh, I can't wait to be done. So then he interrupted my last questions. I'm like, back up. Like, what are you doing here? And then I realized, okay, then I saw my sister in the background with her like phone up recording. I was like, what is going on? And he was dressed really nice. I'm like, that's weird. And then I saw my two best friends, like their heads sneaking out of like the tunnel area. And I was like, okay, something's going on. Let me shut up and stop talking. Because now I know something's up, and I've just been a crazy woman for the last minute. So that's when I knew.
I love Andre saying that was on brand. That's on brand. So that's beautiful. That's excellent. So now that people know, I mean, you guys, obviously are engaged. Have you guys gotten into any of the planning stages yet? Because Andre, let me tell you that's not that fun either. When you try to get into the planning, and then you got other people with ideas, so to speak.
Oh yeah, trust me, I got a taste of kind of what it's like to be engaged. Actually, the day that I proposed, I think we went out to eat afterwards with her friends and her sister, and I immediately got a question like, so when's the wedding? I'm like, whoa, I'm like, pump the brakes. I was like, I am relieved that this went well. I need to enjoy this win for a bit. I want to enjoy the engagement. Like, I just need to enjoy not being stressed out, because you know how it is you want to make sure everything's perfect. And, it's a different stress level when it goes to, trying to propose and making, this is a very special and memorable day. So I was just like, hey, I need to take a rest for a bit, just relax and enjoy it. But you'll have to, I mean, we've started talking about it, kind of putting the skeleton together. But yeah, I'm trying to enjoy it. You can talk, Rachel probably has more details about it than I would.
Yeah. So, what do you think, Rachel? I mean, because here's my theory is that I think there are a couple of types of brides. One that it wants to plan everything, be involved, and one that is, I'm game, whatever we want to do. How do you think you foresee yourself here in the planning?
Yeah, I would say I'm like a little bit of both. I'm definitely going to do like all the planning, just because like Dre doesn't really he's not picky about anything. And I'm not necessarily picky about stuff either. That's another thing. Like, I'm not this type of girl, Mike. Like, let's just have a party and let's just have fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have no clue. I don't know anything about weddings. I've been talking to my best friends. I'm like, I'm clueless. So I'm thinking I might have to hire a wedding planner, because I just don't know. I don't know a single thing about this stuff. Like, there's so many little details, and I honestly don't care about them. So I'm like, I just want to get to the day and let's have fun. Let's, have our family and friends there and have a good time. Like, that's all I can think about, but there's obviously so much more that goes into it. So we're going to tour a place today. That's really just the first steps. And then picking a date, that's hard too. Like, we have such different schedules, and, my season's in the summer. So honestly, we're not even close. We're not even close. And we're not too stressed about it. And I'm not going to be a bridezilla. I just want to have a good time, and Dre does too.
Yeah. Are you buying all of that, Andre?
Yeah. I know how she is. Like, she's not. We're not gonna try to put too much pressure or stress into it, because I mean, it's a day of celebration. life's too short to be that stressed out. So, I mean, I think whatever we choose or whichever path we go is going to be amazing. We're going to have our family and friends and loved ones there. Of course, you'll be there. You get an invite. So
can't wait. Can't wait.
It'll be a huge celebration.
Yeah, for sure. And as you were leading up to the engagement, you guys have, been together for a while. Was there, Rachel, were you putting any pressure on Andre? Like, hey, are you going to get a ring on the finger here? Or were you just, everyone just kind of biding their time here?
Yeah, it's so funny. Everyone always asks me that, like, did you know? Have you been asking him? And we don't talk about that. Like, once again, I'll kind of just say, like, I'm just not that type of girl. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just, we knew we were going to be together. We've been together forever. We've always known that we wanted to get married, and it was just a matter of timing, kind of just finding the right time to make it happen. So I definitely wasn't pressuring him. He was stuck with me regardless. So I didn't need a ring. I didn't need a ring to solidify that. So no, I wasn't like that.
That's isn't that kind of a key to the relationship anyway, right? If there, you guys know, there's no pressure, and Andre found his right time. He had to call the timeout at one point, it sounds like, but he got it figured out, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So take me all the way back. I think, Rachel, you were on on one of the halftime shows with us a few weeks ago, maybe just after it happened, and you talked about the how this all got started way back when you were both players and students. Andre, I'll ask you. What do you remember? How did this thing all get kindled? How did you guys get together that first date, or maybe it wasn't even a date? I don't know. How did this all get going with Andre Hollins and Rachel Banham?
Yeah. So. Going back when I'm remembering, it's not to sound corny or anything, but I knew she was special since the first time I saw her. Like when we met, I knew we had a connection. And I think I'd like to say I was persistent in going after the friendship, and we kind of started hanging out. Netflix was kind of at the focal point. We started hanging out, watching Netflix. I think the show was actually Prison Break. And, our relationship kind of grew organically. There was no pressure either way. And then, it just, like I said, it happened organically, kind of like there was no pressure. Everything just kind of flowed. We vibed together. And then I asked her to go out with me. And she luckily said yes. So that's kind of what led us here.
So there was not where you're together, or you don't know each other. It's like, hey, do you want to go out on a date? You guys were just kind of starting to hang out. So in terms of a first date, we went to here, maybe once you started dating, but the relationship, as you said, Rachel, is that your recollection that it kind of started organically like that? And you guys kind of knew. And did you see it the way Andre saw it, that right from the start, you knew that there might be a match here?
Yeah, I mean, I think he told it was pretty accurate. It always was pretty organic because we both played basketball. So, in college, you're always friends with all the athletes, and especially men's and women's basketball, we hung out all the time. So we didn't start dating until our sophomore year, but our freshman year, I saw him all the time. We both lived in Wilkins, and we would go hang out in the women's basketball room or their room. So we were always together. So we always were friends, and you just bond really well with those people who are playing sports, and especially the same sport as you. And he was the best player on that team, and then I was the best player on my team. So it kind of just people are always you guys should date. And I was in a relationship my freshman year. And so I was yeah, whatever. We're just friends. And then sophomore year, they were you guys should really date. This would be cute. You guys are cute. So then it kind of, like you said, we started hanging out, and it just kind of worked out that way.
Did you guys, and do you still, if you have to get shots up or work out or what have you, did you do a lot of that where, one would shoot and one would rebound, or did you guys have your own workouts over the course of time, hoops-wise?
I'd say as we got older, we were able to do that more, with our class schedules and different practice times during college. We didn't get a chance to really do that as much. We might have been able maybe on the weekends sometimes when we both had off days, but that more so happened when we entered our professional careers.
Right now, if I put you two guys at Williams Arena on the barnyard end and you had a horse game, who wins?
Me.
You laughed, Andre.
The last time we played horse, I won. But publicly, she beat me in the horse matchup I did with Be the Match. She beat me in that matchup.
When's the last time we played horse and you beat me? That's not true, Mike.
It was early on in the summertime when I went to rebound for you.
No.
For sure. I remember it vividly because I was.
If we played right now, I would beat you.
No. I'm not. I don't have any rust on anymore. I'm on the scouts.
I have 0 rust.
It's okay.
This might be a good pay-per-view event here. You know, we could set this up. That'd be awesome. I will say this, Rachel, in defense of Andre, yesterday, as we taped this yesterday at the shoot-around, the men's team does the half-court shots at the end of practice. I think most teams now have kind of gone to that. And first of all, here's one observation: is that most of the guys, including the players on the men's team, they get a run up and they hoist the ball up with momentum, and they and some of them are pretty good. Andre just stands right on half court and just hoists a jump shot. It's just like a normal routine shot, and I'd say out of the times I've watched, Andre probably has made the most of anyone, including the players or the coaches. Ironically, I think Ryan Dotson, the team trainer, is probably second in that. Man, that guy's got a nice half court stroke.
Shout out R-Dot.
Yeah, man, that guy can make it. And I don't want to put anybody under the microscope, but Ryan Livingston has no chance ever to make a shot. So from half court, anyway, that's that. I shouldn't tease him because he does a lot of good stuff for us in terms of travel and getting us coordinated on the radio side of things. But anyway, I digress. My point is, Rachel, he's pretty good from the half court shot. So in a horse game, that might how's your half court game? I mean, at this point.
I'm actually really good from half-court shots, so I'm not intimidated by that. We do them after our game or during our shoot-arounds, and I get them a lot. Like, I get them to the point where my teammates aren't excited for me anymore because we get $100 every time we make them.
Wow.
And the girl's like, oh, okay, Rachel got it. Like, they're not even hyped for me anymore. I'm like, all right, sick, guys. Now, I take those very seriously.
Do you try to shoot yours as a normal jump shot, or do you get a run up as well? Yeah,
I shoot a normal jump shot. I think that's the best way to do it. You got to shoot it as normal as possible.
Yeah, I agree. The way it looks, that's how it works. But Andre, you mentioned that you sometimes are out on that scout team. I think people would be interested in knowing what you mentioned. You're pursuing your master's degree at the U. What's your official title with the team, and then kind of what are some of your duties that you got going right now?
So my official duty as a graduate assistant, my duties kind of entail right now, since my school schedule is so packed as a full-time MBA student. I'm more the scout team I kind of grew into this role as, trying to get the team prepared, playing the opponent's guard along with the other guys on the team, making sure that our main players get the most time, that they're prepared when it comes to the game. So it's been fun to get back after it. I actually tore my Achilles last year playing one-on-one after practice. So it was nice to, kind of get back in a rhythm and kind of be a part of practice, get a sweat going. Don't want to get a dad bod at an early age. But yeah, I mean, just being a resource to the players, giving them what tips I can, kind of made me successful at the U. We're working them out when we both have time. So, just being there as a big brother, as a resource to them, helping out when I can, being there to support, being critical as well. Just to try to get the best out of them.
And as you have gone through this part of it, as you mentioned, you're pursuing your master's. Do you see coaching maybe as part of your future, or would you get back into business, or what do you think, or do you know yet? I mean, you're kind of at this crossroads in life a little bit, right? You're on the verge at some point here of getting married, and who knows where that takes you in terms of family and all that. And then you're going to get pressure on that too once that gets going. But that's a whole other topic for another podcast, probably, on when you're going to have kids, when you're going to do this and all that. But my question, in the near term and short term, what do you think? Is coaching part of it, or do you think it might be more in real life as you move forward?
Well, I'll always be a part of basketball in some capacity. As of now, I'm not closing any doors. As far as coaching, I don't think I'll have time now. I'm pursuing my career in business. I'll start at General Mills after graduating. So the majority of my time will be taken there, but obviously in my spare time, I'll be involved in some capacity, as far as whether it be training, holding little clinic sessions. Rachel and I have been talking about hosting some camps. I think we're going to try to make that an annual thing. I think coaching isn't off the table. I don't think I do it right away.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm learning a lot about myself now that I retired. So I know that I'm very competitive. I'm more competitive than I thought. So I think I'll probably get an itch to start coaching, but I don't think it'll be right away. I say that now, so things could change.
Yeah, of course. It's always fluid, no doubt about that. And Rachel, you are obviously in the off season right now with the Lynx. And how much are you looking forward to that season getting started, and excited about what holds in store for the WNBA season upcoming?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually in free agency right now, so we're kind of February 1st is the signing period, so it'll be interesting. Whether I sign back here, if I go to another team. But regardless, I'm excited. It's always a great opportunity to continue to play basketball and make money playing basketball and doing something I love. So I look forward to it. I've been working hard. I love the off seasons because it's when I can really get better and focus on myself. And but I'm excited. Season's always really fun. The WNBA is so competitive, and you get to play against the best players in the world. So I look forward to it.
Last year was such an interesting one with, really the last two seasons, right? With the bubble 2 years ago, and you guys made such a nice run. And then last year you guys had a really good year, and then the weird playoff format. How much of a buzzkill was that, knowing that you guys had such a talented team and had such success, and then I don't know why they made that the format, but one loss and the season just the trapdoor falls out. How did you cope with that?
Yeah, that was awful. It's funny because when I was in Connecticut, that happened to us twice. That we were the top seeded team, and we lost to Phoenix, I think 2 times in a row in those single elimination games. And we're just this sucks. This shouldn't be like this. And not like Phoenix didn't deserve the win, but you still, that one bad night and it's just, you're done after an amazing season. And this past year we were third. We were the 3rd seed, and we lost to Chicago, who obviously ended up winning it all. But I don't know if you knew this, but they changed the format now.
Yeah,
so now that first round is 3-game elimination, or 3-game series, I should say. And that's just so much better. I just think it just makes more sense. Because, sometimes there's going to be an off night, and then, that team's done. That doesn't seem right. But it was crushing. It was tough. And, what's worse is when you have those next day meetings with the coaching staff, the end of the season meetings.
Yeah.
That wasn't fun. It's just a gross way to go out. And it wasn't fun.
Well, I think you could probably call that the Lynx clause. I think that loss probably was what, spearheaded the idea that we have to switch the way we do go about this format. As you said, as it turned out, Chicago, you caught the team that was maybe the hottest, and obviously that turned out to be a good story, I think, for women's basketball in general to see them do that. But it would have been nice to have a series against them to see, because let's face it, if If you end up winning a series there, they end up winning it all. That puts you in a pretty good spot to potentially also make a run, with the path that was presented. So yeah, it was good for hoops, I think, in general, that that team, with the players that they had and some pretty famous players, that was a cool thing. But it would have been nice to have a fair shot in terms of a series, I think.
For sure. So I'm happy they changed it. I think it'll be better this way.
All right. So February 1st, I apologize. I wasn't aware of when the free agency situation starts. So you may have some options. I know everyone listening here locally is hoping that you can stick here in your hometown. But so you will have some options potentially. Yeah,
for sure. My agent does most of the work. I talk to teams and do all that stuff. And my agent does most of the work. He's awesome. So. We'll see in like the next couple weeks, usually, like that first week of February, it's kind of all those like really big names that are going to sign, like Brianna Stewart and those people. So once that kind of happens, then you kind of see the rest of the free agents, kind of find their place. So we'll see. You guys know, I love Minnesota. I love playing here. I love everything about it. So we'll see what's in the cards.
How cool is it when you walk into Williams Arena, which has now got another special place in your heart, given that that's where you ended up getting engaged, but to look up and you have a banner hanging there with your picture and your jersey. That's got to be a pretty cool feeling every time you walk into that building.
Yeah, it is always really cool. It is really special. I wouldn't say it was like my goal coming into college, but then, kind of as I started to find my way, and I was like, I could be one of the best, and I was like, that'd be fun if my jersey could hang up in the rafters. So it is really special, and it's just kind of cool when I get to go there and see that. And one day I guess I can show my kids and other people.
Well, I said that it would be a topic for another day, but so you brought it up. You said kids, so I know that you've got a situation that people will always talk about that. Well, two things. One, if and when you guys have kids, my hunch is they're going to be pretty good at basketball. Two, there's no question they'll have an award-winning smile, because of all the Gopher athletes I've covered, you two guys have like you light up the room when you guys walk in. So you've got a couple of things going for you. But I just bring that up because I wanted to say that I like your guys' smiles. That's all. So I won't put any pressure on you here on the podcast to find out. I already put enough pressure on Andre asking about when the date's going to be. So we'll let that all play out naturally. Andre, I wanted to ask you too. When you walk in and you see Rachel's jersey hanging up there with her picture, that's gotta bring some pride to you as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of bragging rights. Like, look at this. That's my lady right there. No, it's awesome, and it's more than deserved. One of our biggest fans, one of the biggest cheerleaders. I mean, it's always fun. That's why I was really pumped when she signed for the Lynx, be able to come back home and play, because I hadn't seen her play in a while, actually, because I was overseas as well. So being able to see her play in person and just saw how she's grown and developed as a player, it's truly special. She's a special player. She's amazing. So it's great to see, all her hard work has paid off and is continuing to pay off. So yeah, it's great.
You think about, if you get 1,000 points in a career, that's pretty good. There's only a handful of people who have 2,000 points. Rachel at Minnesota had 3,093 points. That's number one all time. And then, Andre, you had 1,765. That's fifth. It was fourth all time when you graduated, I think. Maybe was it Murphy? I think Jordan Murphy, passed you to knock you down to fifth. But think about this. You two, that's why I called you the first couple to go for basketball, 4,858 points combined between you two. I mean, it's going to be hard-pressed to find anybody that can combine for that. So it's a lot of points scored. Andre, I recall the 41 you put on your hometown Memphis down in the Bahamas. That was a favorite trip for two reasons. One, my family was able to come along that trip over the Thanksgiving holiday, and I think my son, who's now in college, just tells you how time flies, was maybe 11 or 12 at the time. My daughter was a year younger, and they just got such a kick because at that venue, you're able to, basically you walk through a casino to get to the ballroom, and so you see everybody. And so they thought it was so cool. They got pictures, I think, with Mo Walker, who was big, and then your smile. And when we got home, my son wanted to go find a number 1 jersey to wear around. So, it's just awesome to see. So that was one cool memory just from a personal standpoint. But two, that 41, and then you finish it with a dunk. I mean, that was, what a cool day. And against your hometown, that had to be, I'm thinking, one of the great, college highlights you had.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day. I had my grandmother had actually passed that back, and I wasn't able to go to the funeral. And she was my grandparent that I grew the closest to, only surviving grandparent. So it was kind of a tough situation for me. And obviously being from Memphis and playing against guys who I grew up playing with and against, it was just kind of a special combination. And I think my grandma was with me during that game. And, it was great. It was a great experience. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, it really was a fun time. And I remember too, the game you had against UCLA in the tournament was at 2012 or 13. Now I get my years mixed up. But and then Florida, the next game, you were, I think, single-handedly trying to get the Gophers back into that one as well. But those are a couple of the memories I remember. And that UCLA game was pretty fun down in Austin, Texas. Yeah,
my time as a Gopher was amazing. Just thinking back on the memories. Now that I'm old enough to be like back in my day, I feel old again. I feel old now that I'm, with these players of this generation. So it's good to go back on those memories and kind of talk to my old teammates. But we're still a close-knit group, and your teammates are your brothers for life, and that's held true for me. So it's great to go back on those memories.
And Rachel, obviously you've had a lot of great memories as well. I remember the year you put 60 on Northwestern down in Evanston. I think you had a couple 50-point games as well. And now I see a girl from Byron, Minnesota, plays at Kansas State, just broke that record. She put up 61. So 2 Minnesotans have the top 2 scoring days. But what do you remember about some of those big scoring days that you had over the course of your career in maroon and gold?
Yeah, they were really fun. They were special. I mean, obviously the Northwestern game was just insane. It was just so fun, and then we got the win too, and it was double overtime, and it was just an intense game. And then obviously that brought me, Kobe's into my life, and I got to create that relationship, which was really cool. And then one of my 50-point games, that's when I broke the Big Ten scoring record. Which Kelsey Mitchell has passed me now. But at that time, that was a big game. And then I broke the record too. So that was really cool. And I remember from the 60-point game, I think Dre had texted me and was like, dang, you passed my 41 points. I think I was at 40 something at that point. And he was texting and I was like, okay, Dre. So it was just funny because he mentioned dang it, you passed me. I was like, sorry, buddy.
He says he's competitive,
Yeah. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, I think, 3 or 4 in the morning when I was overseas. It was my first year overseas when she did it. So I woke up while she was killing. So I think she was at 30 something and she just continued the onslaught. So I'll never forget that. That was special. Very special.
Man, it was. And then you mentioned Kobe, and that was so cool because you guys kind of, got a deal going social media-wise, started it. And then I remember distinctly there was a press conference. I don't know if you put 60 up or if it was after that and you put 50. I forget how it unfolded, but they actually mentioned it to him in a post-game press conference. And he's like, man, she did it again. That's amazing. I mean, that's so cool. I mean, that was so cool. Take me through how meaningful that was because, obviously growing up, that was your guy. He was your idol.
Yeah, it was so special. I just love telling that story. Not even about the 60-point game, not even that part, but just meeting him or just being able to create that relationship. Because obviously he tweeted at me, but then he would DM me and check in on me. He'd be like, "How you doing, sis?" And I was like, "Oh." I would literally freak out. I would text my friends like, "What do I say? What do I say?" Like, just answer normal, just like, "I'm good." Da, da, da. But like, it's him. So I would freak out every time that he would DM me. And then obviously when I met him, I don't know, I like malfunctioned. I didn't even know how to like say hello properly. It's just crazy. It was just such a cool thing. And obviously it's super sad that he's not around anymore, but I'm really lucky that I am blessed that I was able to meet him and his family. He was really special, and he was really great for the women's game too. Man,
wasn't he though? I mean, with the way he was, going about, what was it? The quote, the hashtag that he was going, girl dad, was that it? I can't remember now. Something like that, where, he kind of started that and, was a big proponent of women's hoops, and his daughters were, good players and all of that. But man, he had done such a good job from that standpoint, and just so cool that, he would reach out. I forget, was it that he just happened to catch you playing in one of the games on flipping through the channels, and he just kind of like, man, that's a pretty cool player there?
Yeah, well, the 60-point game, I kept mentioning, Lisa Byington, who works for Big Ten, everyone knew I loved Kobe. Like, it was always a thing. I wore, like, my Kobe shirts every game day for shoot-around, and she tweeted at him, like, my clip or something of me, the 60-point, like, highlight thing, and he saw it, I guess, or someone showed him, and then he tweeted back. So that's kind of how we got connected. And then the press conference one was after my 52-point game. That someone must have told him or he saw it, and that's when he said that in his press conference. So I appreciate all those people who like spread the word, because social media is so big now. But then it was getting big. It wasn't like how it is now. So it was really cool how like the word just spread the way it did. So I'm glad that it worked out the way it did.
Yeah, it was so fun to watch, obviously. Andre, you said you were overseas for some of that season. Take us through the path of the different places basketball has taken you, the different countries, and also some of the challenges over the time where Rachel's back here and you're overseas, and time differences and all of that of, just keeping in touch and keeping going.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't have imagined all the places basketball has taken me, like started in Belgium, France, Germany, Hungary, Lithuania, Finland, Sweden. Those are just all the places that I was able to play. But I've also just been able to travel outside on our off days. I've been everywhere. Like it was amazing just to experience the different cultures and languages, and just having those different experiences was awesome. As far as like having that long distance relationship, it was tough. It wasn't easy whatsoever, but I think that made us stronger in the long run. The time difference was tough. Like, just like I said earlier, in order to catch her games, I had to like stay up or either wake up super early, like 2-3 in the morning. And just, to talk to people, I have to wait like super late in order to, have those conversations with people back home. So, it definitely takes some adjustments, have to be mentally tough and, have a strong support system while you're over there.
And Rachel, you're back here. You're playing at Connecticut and Minnesota. Did you have some time overseas as well? I think memory serves that you had a few seasons overseas also.
Yeah. My second year, I went to Australia, and then he was overseas as well. So it was kind of hard because, if I would have been overseas in Europe, it would have been different. We would have been on like more of the same time. But in Australia, the time difference is insane still. So that was really, really hard. And then I was in Spain 2 years ago. So, yeah, I've been in really cool places. The time difference is always tough. That's the hard thing about going overseas. And then sometimes the language barrier, obviously Australia was easy. Everyone speaks English. The driving part was hard because I drive on the other side of the road. That was weird. But it was beautiful because it was summer when it's winter here in Minnesota. So it was amazing. I got like 2 summers back to back.
Yeah, no shoveling snow for you, right?
Right.
And you think about, where basketball has taken you guys. Now, did you guys try to watch each other's games online or what have you? Or was the schedule just so busy with your own things going on that it was limited in terms of what you could do there?
I was always able to watch Dre's games when he was playing overseas because he played during the winter. And so I was always, since I didn't go overseas a bunch, I only went overseas twice, I was able to watch his games really easily because I'm just home in Minnesota. I'm just training. So, and his games weren't at weird times for us. I think it was like 11 a.m., 10 a.m. maybe. I don't know. Dre, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like easy time. So I was actually able to watch a lot of his games. And then, of course, I traveled out there and I got to see some of his games in person too. So, yeah.
And Dre, you mentioned you caught Rachel's 60-point game. It was like 3 a.m. So she had the better end of it. She's taking advantage of the time difference, watching at 11 o'clock. You're waking up at 3:30 in the morning trying to watch games over there. So were you able to do watch most of her games, or a handful, or was the travel schedule tricky?
I was only able to watch a handful. The ones that were broadcast, over a wide net where I was able to stream it. Because sometimes the coverage wasn't good enough for me to be able to access it. But yeah, I tried to catch as many as I could that I knew that was being televised. Well, all of them televised, but I knew that I could catch it. But I tried to catch those. So.
Yeah, cool. Well, I've kept you guys so long. I do have 2 more just quick angles I want to catch, and both talk about your hometowns a little bit. And we'll start with Andre. Memphis. I know you have that Memphis pride, and man, what a school, what a town. Even in football, when I go around and do games, it's every game. Every team in the Big Ten's got a couple dudes from Memphis in football for sure, and then in basketball, it seems like every third team, a guy from Memphis. We, you got Eric Curry on the current team from Memphis, and obviously, Austin Hollins, who is not your brother, but is kind of your brother, right? I mean, as it turns out. But man, how much pride do you have in Memphis? And there's dudes in the NBA, from Memphis. I mean, that's a city that has some pride in what they produce athletically.
Yeah, I'm so proudful of my city. It was a tough decision for me not to go there. Just growing up being a Tigers fan, and the culture there is awesome. Memphis made me who I am. Mm-hmm. So, I always enjoy going back home and being able to see my friends and family. Obviously, we have some great athletic talent that's come out of there. So, I always root for the kids from Memphis, and I think we've been able to produce some great athletes and some guys in the league that went to my high school and I played against in high school. So it's just awesome to see.
There was a YouTube video. I think was it John Wall was doing some sort of a YouTube video. Is that 4 or 5 years ago now? I remember. I think I texted you the link to it, and you had at that point seen it. And he was trying to remember your name, but it was so funny how he was talking in terms of who was that dude, and that has to be pretty cool. Who was his guest? It was John Wall and somebody else. I forget now.
I'm not sure whose podcast he was on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but some of my high school teammates sent that to me as well. And I mean, it was cool because I didn't think he remembered like playing us. I mean, we put my high school White Station. We went around and we played in a lot of the premier like tournaments or classics. We actually came to Minnesota to play actually one time, but we had played Word of God, and he was on the team, him and CJ Leslie. And it was funny because I have a story about playing him. Yeah. And I didn't think he would remember me, but I guess, that speaks to White Station and what we were able to lead.
Can you tell the story about playing him?
Yeah, so we started, I think we were down, and I ended up switching on to him, and we were doing full court pressure, and everyone knows how unbelievably fast he is. So I was pressing up, and he as he was like, I don't think he dribbled yet. He said, "You don't want to do that." so I gave him a little bit of room because I already knew how fast. I think he was a senior, and I was either a freshman or a sophomore. And I obviously wasn't. There was that age difference and maturity wise, so he was faster than me. Whenever, so I just kind of conceded a little bit and backed up.
He was giving you a little advice, huh?
Yeah, he was like, you don't want to do that.
That's pretty good. That's a good story. All right, so Rachel, you're from Lakeville. Lakeville North won a state title, and I remember watching that game. I was at that game. My kids are also Lakeville North grads, and they now they were younger, and so they loved watching. There's been a long run of success, with all the sports there. But how much pride do you have in your hometown school as well, the Panthers?
Yeah, I have a lot of pride. I think that we've had really great sports. They still do. When I was there, we had really good sports teams. So it was like really fun. We all kind of supported each other. Like every team went to state when I was there. So that was just fun. It was just like a good time. And I mean, then they're still good. I still go back and watch the girls play, and I've seen the boys play a couple times, but it was awesome. It's such a good experience. I always say, like, when we won state was probably one of my favorite basketball memories, like still to this day. It was just so special. And I'm still friends with like everyone I played with. So it was really cool.
Yeah. Was Simone on that team? Simone Colander? I think so. Right. And I think she just got engaged too, right?
She's pregnant.
That's what it was. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool as well. Yeah, of course she played. Simone Colander played women's soccer at Minnesota. Was a great soccer player, and still to this day had one of the great national anthem performances at a Vikings game. That was, I don't remember, 5-6 years ago now maybe, but it was an incredible performance. Yeah, she can sing for sure.
We used to make her sing in the locker room. It was so funny. Yeah. She's like, "This is weird." We're like, "Sing to us."
That's awesome. But it's cool too, right? That you can stay in touch not only with your college teammates, and I know, Andre, you keep in touch with yours as well, and Rachel, but to go back to the high school days, and it's a unique, because not everyone has one or the other. It's even better if you have both, where you can have this good friend group with your high school friends and a good friend group with your college friends as well.
Yeah, it's really special. Like that's what's so great about being in Minnesota, that I'm able to keep those connections. And I also train. I do like skills and development stuff for the Lakeville youth team and the high school team. So I'm like heavily involved still and all that. So it's good. I get to still be around. It's crazy because the girls that are seniors now on that team were in kindergarten when I was working the Lakeville camps. Yeah. It's so scary. I'm like, how am I this old? So it's still cool just to kind of see. And I've been able to see them just grow up, and now I get to work with girls that were their age, so it's just fun to be involved in all of that. Yeah.
Well, wait till you get my age and you start thinking about, how did I get this old? You're going to get to my age and you're going to say, Grimm was right. He's dead now, but he was right. When you get to that age, it even slows down quicker. But hey, I will let you guys go. It is so awesome to catch up. Like I said, I told when Guardsy and I did the Gopher podcast years ago, and I think you guys were still playing, I said, we got to have these guys on. And he's like, yeah, it's kind of personal. We don't need to get into their dating life. But I thought now it's official. You're engaged. I'm going to get you on a podcast, and it was well worth the wait. This was awesome to hear about your background and to get to know you guys and let our listeners get to know you guys a little bit better.
Sorry to have you waiting so long.
No, it was good. It was we waited, and we it was definitely worth the wait. So we'll see you at Williams Arena at some point. It was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
My thanks to Andre Hollins and Rachel Banham for spending so much time with me on the podcast this week. I hope you enjoyed listening to that as much as I enjoyed talking to them. This has been the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, brought to you by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and please be sure to subscribe to the Go Gopher Podcast right now. It's absolutely free to listen. We'll talk again next week.